Good morning, welcome to Furry and Spoilt. Today I'm going to talk to you about overtired and overstimulated dogs. They're very similar in the way the dog behaves, but different things will cause them. Not all dogs will suffer from this. I've got 3 dogs at the moment. They all have the same lifestyle, and my other 2 don't really ever get this. If they're tired, they just go to sleep and have a nice sleep. But this one here, Harry, it really gets affected if he's overtired or if he's overstimulated. And I don't think this is a coincidence. If you watch my last video about spoiled dogs, he's also the one who's really quite demanding and high maintenance. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that's a personality trait in some dogs, that they're just, everything's so much more dramatic with them. Whereas my other dog over there, and my other dog, wherever he is, he's over there, they just don't get it, and yet they all lead exactly the same lifestyle. So over the years, this is how I have experienced it. If a dog is overtired, that comes from maybe if you've had, you've gone for an extra long walk, or maybe you've done a walk with your friends and there's been other dogs, and so the walk's been more energetic. It can also happen if you've had a busy weekend and you've had people over and stuff like that. Life's just been busy for them. Then they can just get tired, as we can, as children can, and they can just get overtired. Overstimulated, I have experienced, and a classic example of this is if we go, say, somewhere like, you're not there for very long, but it was crazy. So supposing we went, like sometimes we take dogs into town, supposing we took them into town and there were just more people wanting to say hello to them than usual. And although they really enjoy everyone saying hello to them and they have a great time and it's very exciting and all of that, and even though it might only last, I don't even know, 45 minutes, it was just very overstimulating. And so that, I've noticed, creates the same effect. And the fact is that, and so like I said, it's Harry over there, he's the one who really gets affected by this, and he gets very whiny. He's always whining and moaning about stuff. He always, he just very much like a toddler when they get tired. And he tends to not listen to me so much when he's feeling like that. Humps can hear a dog barking far away, but it's enough to be bothering him. It's all right, Humps, they're nowhere near us. Yeah, they're nowhere near us, sweetheart. Come on, we can keep walking. They're nowhere near us, darling. There we go. And also, it can go on for a good couple of days. Supposing we had a busy day on a Friday, all over the weekend he can be like it. And like I said, whereas Humps here and Albert, my other dog over there, they would have had exactly the same experience, but they don't get all whiny and moany about it. They just sleep more. There's some dogs giving it some gob over there. Luckily they're nowhere near us. Come on, Humps, it's okay. Those barks sound reasonably friendly, but they're miles away from us, so I'm not bothered about that. They're nowhere near us. But the barks do sound a little bit agitated, but kind of friendly. Yeah, so my other 2 dogs, they're not affected by it. Even though they live exactly the same lifestyle, they're not affected by it at all. They will just go to bed and go to sleep. The other thing that another time when I have to be aware of it is if I'm training, especially Humps here, because I'm training Humps to be an assistant dog. I don't need an assistant dog, but he needs a job, and so that's the job I've given him. And sometimes if I'm training him, or any of my dogs really, because I do a lot of training with my dogs, but especially Humps because he's learning new stuff and it's quite challenging for him sometimes. It's good fun, but quite challenging sometimes. The absolute second that I see I'm giving him a command and he looks like he doesn't know what I mean, and I know that he knows the command, I will stop training then, because then I'm at risk of overstimulating him. And when I finish that training, I will always give him a command that I know he will do so that he ends on a high. Then I give him a clap and we finish training. So that is a time when You need to watch out. If you're training your dog and they start to just look at you like they don't understand commands that they should know, then that's often a sign that you've got to stop, because you could be overstimulating them. So other things I do is I'm aware not to make walks too long, because I know that they can get tired. Things like with little Albert here, he's 9 years old now, you know, not far off 10. And so I have to be aware that when we're walking, especially because my other two are like 6 years old, I have to be aware that he could get extra tired. And so luckily he's little, and so we can just carry him. Right, so with Albert here, this is my little one. He's, like I said, you know, he's getting old now, and so we're just aware that if it's going to be a little bit of a longer walk or something like that, then we'll carry him. He's small enough to carry him, and I do actually have a pushchair. If we're ever going to go somewhere that might still be too much for him, then we'll put him in a pushchair. You know, it's no big deal. It's quite an interesting thing, that, because so he's 9, he'll be 10 in 5 months, and my other two are 6. So when they were young, that really didn't seem to be an age difference. You didn't notice it. But now that they're this age, I'm starting to notice it, and like the 6-year-olds will want more of a walk than little Albert does. But luckily we call him little Albert because he is little, and so we carry him. There's a dog barking over there somewhere. Yeah, so we'll carry him. So that's not a problem at all. But the thing is, sometimes, you know, you do want to go. Sometimes we go out for the day. Sometimes we take them to the National Trust for the day. And that is going to be a busier day for them. And you don't want their whole life to consist of just their morning walk and that's it. I like to take them out and about. And because I take them everywhere with me, they do go out and about. And sometimes they do get a bit tired. But I'm just aware of it. So, I mean, if a day has been particularly busy, then I would make sure that the following week is just normal and there's nothing too much for them to do. Because, you know, and the other thing is, if your dog is always whining and moaning, it could be a few things, but it could be that he's got too much, he's too tired, and you just need to have a look at that. Like, you know, are you maybe just doing too much with your dog? I know with my dogs, they, especially now, you know, they're all getting a little bit older, they need their sleep during the day. It's very, very important to them to stop them from being whiny or whatever. And as I said, for the overstimulation, it can happen very quickly. In a short space of time, you can have overstimulation, and you don't always know that it's going to happen. I mean, like I said, like if somebody wants to come and say hello to the boys and they're very excited, and you can just have sometimes like that, you know, you're out and about and lots of people want to say hello to your dog that day. That can be overstimulation, and there's nothing you can do about that. You're not going to know that's going to happen. But if anything like that happens, so supposing we're in town or we're somewhere where there's lots of people, and lots of people that day want to come and say hello to our dogs, as they often do, and that's fine, I've got no problem with that at all. But just be aware that maybe to cut it short, don't let that go on for too long. I have to be aware that, okay, there's been a lot of people saying hello to them today, let's get them somewhere where there aren't people around. Because I know that there's a chance that they'll become overstimulated, especially with my little Albert in the middle here, because he has learning difficulties. Touching on autism, it's a subject that hasn't really been looked into. I am going to start researching it in like a lot and talking to you more about it. But so he has that kind of thing, and so anything that, like, he can get overstimulated quite easy, and so that's something that I need to be aware of. Right, another thing, and this is really important, but this is really hard for you to work out, I think. But you've got to, supposing your dog, so he's overtired, overstimulated, so he's all whiny and ratty. And this is the other thing, when they're like this, they won't sleep. So they're on the go and they're just whiny and ratty and about everything. It would be really easy to then think, oh, you need another walk, or you need some training, or you need something to play with. That is not what they need. It is the last thing they need. But it's going to be really hard for you to work that out. And I only know, like with Harry here, just from knowing him, that, oh, he's overtired. We, you know, like me and my husband, we both know, oh, he's overtired. And so it's a difficult one, because you're just going to have to learn with your dog. But it would be very easy to think, oh, he needs more, he needs walking, and that is just going to be terrible. what he actually needs is to be ignored and to settle down and go to sleep. That's what, and I always say it to him when I was digging a hole. And I always say it to him when he's like it, like, come on, you need to have a sleep. And I try to encourage him to get into his bed, settle down. Yeah, it's important, but that is something I can't really tell you. You would have to know, obviously you would know your dogs, but you would have to know your dogs well enough to know this is ratty behaviour. I could really see how it could easily be mistaken. My little Albert, look at him through the agility. He doesn't do agility, the agility equipment's just here. That's it, I think I've told you everything. So I would be interested to know if your dog has this and what symptoms you get, because that might be different to what Harry gets, and you might help other dog owners with their dogs, because it is something that does need recognising in dogs, because like I said, it can be so easily misunderstood. So I'll leave you with my shot of my little Albert, his dirty face. Albert. Bless his little heart. Right, so thanks very much for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.